Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you follow me on Mopar Insiders or here on the channel, you've probably seen my video about Ram working on a midsize pickup truck that's set to launch in Brazil in 2026. I posted that video last night. I'm not going to try to go over a lot of the things that I talked about in that video because we talked about, all these different trucks that Ram has been building, like midsize trucks, over the past few years in other countries and that we haven't got here. And we've been dying for a midsize truck since 2011 when the Dodge Dakota basically was retired. But this truck is going to be specifically for the South American market. Now, I've been hearing from my sources that, hey, it could be moved to the Middle East too. It could be exported to the Middle East and maybe some select markets outside of the South American markets, but it's not going to be here. This is going to be a truck based on the Fiat Titano. We talked about that truck last night. But our truck is going to be a little bit bigger, and it's going to be unique for the North American markets. So that being said, I want you to watch this teaser video, and then we're going to talk about what we know about the truck and what we don't know going forward.
Ouvi dos ventos do amanhã que o forte aliado virá das montanhas. Seus olhos brilham como fogo. Ele não pisa, ele rasga a terra. Carrega nas costas o peso de muitas colheitas, mas corre como se não soubesse o que é fardo. Dizem que obedece ao homem. Já era sussurro antes da primeira fogueira. Seu nome, Dakota.
Alright, so hopefully that video, you kind of found out the name of the truck. They're using the Dakota name. And the reason why I talked about it a little bit last night is the Dakota name has a lot of presence in Brazil. The reason why is because they actually produced the second generation Dakota. Down there it was called the R1, not the nameplate, the Dakota, but the actual code name for the truck was the R1. And they built it from 1998 to 2001. So the Dakota has a lot of presence in the Brazilian market. So it makes sense that they would name that Dakota. Doesn't mean that our truck, our specific North American truck won't be named Dakota. It could be very likely that they go with the Dakota name because there's so much presence with it. But we've seen FCA and Stellantis use names for, the same name for different products globally. So like, for example, I said the other night, that the Jeep Commander name. It's used in Brazil right now, but it was also being used at the same time in China for the Grand Commander and Commander. So again, just because this truck's named Dakota doesn't mean that our truck won't be named Dakota. So anyways, what do we know about this truck? Well, not a lot. My sources have been saying, this is basically a rebadged Fiat Titano. And if you look at the side profile, you kind of see that it's basically the front end's completely changed. The tail lamps are changed, but the body lines are pretty identical. This truck does get beefier fenders because it's a concept truck. This is what they're calling their Nightfall package. And again, we don't know if it's going to be an actual trim. We don't know exactly what the Nightfall name, is going to be used on. But it's kind of like paying homage to the TRX and the RHO a little bit. So it has 18-inch beadlock wheels that look identical to the ones that are on the Ram RHO and the Ram TRX. It has 33-inch off-road all-terrain tires on it. It does have a built-in front winch. Again, they didn't tell us what kind of winch or anything, but you can see it in the front bumper. It has tow hooks. The hood looks like a TRX kind of hood with the marker lights. That looks more modern than the TRX and the RHO because these are like LEDs that are kind of like flat. And it looks really, really good in my opinion. The headlights wrap around and they have that caliper look that the Ram that the outgoing Rams had from 2019 to 2024. And that kind of carries through the design. It does have the snorkels in the grille, has the Ram badge with like that airflow design, kind of like how the RHO and TRX had it. Really aggressive looking front end. I'm very impressed with how the truck looks. It looks pissed off to begin with, and I like it. If you look at the back, The back looks very much like a Fiat Titano, except for the taillights are different. Now the taillights, I can't really tell in these images. I have to wait till my buddy Marlos, who was down there, sends me some images, but it looks like the taillights kind of mimic the Rampage with the American flag built into the middle of them. Now, I wouldn't be surprised because the Ram Brazil design team has been killing it down there. They just designed the Rampage. The Rampage looks great as it is. We've been begging for that compact truck to go against the Maverick here. It still hasn't shown up, but with this truck, with what they were working with the Fiat Titano, this truck looks killer. This is the kind of truck that Americans have been dying to, for from Ram. A mid-sized truck, a true mid-sized truck. The truck that we're going to get is probably like on par with what we have in the market here that are kind of the same size as a, full-size truck was back in the late 90s. So this truck's a little bit smaller, but overall it looks really, really good. And they did a lot to really make it kind of stand out on its own. So again, Nightfall, we don't know if that's going to be its own thing, but here it looks really, really good. They even made their own kind of ram bar, and down there, the actual off-road bar with the lights, they don't call it like an actual like off-road bar or anything. They call it a San Antonio. But down here for this concept, they're actually calling it a ram bar. So that goes hand in hand with the RHO and TRX as well. What we do know is we don't know anything about the powertrain. They didn't say anything about what's under the hood, but we kind of know from our sources that it's going to probably have the 2.2 liter turbocharged, turbo diesel inline 4 multi-jet 2 engine. That's the same engine that's under the hood of the Jeep Compass, the Jeep Commander, the Ram Rampage, and the Fiat Titano. That should be mated to an 8-speed, 8 HP 50, sourced from ZF, 8-speed automatic transmission. And again, 4-wheel drive will probably be standard following what the Titano has. Overall, again, sweet looking truck. I think they really knocked it out of the park. We don't know what the interior looks like. We just know that they basically said that it's got Fox Racing shocks, it's got a winch, it's built for off-road, and that was it. So what they're telling us is that we will see a production version of this truck sometime in 2026. So basically they said stay tuned. So what that means is probably by the end of the year, we are going to see, probably in the next month or so, we'll probably see a production version of this truck. So we'll probably have a Bighorn, probably a Laramie, maybe a Rebel version, and maybe a Nightfall. So anyways, tell me what you think down below. How did Ram do, the Brazilian design team, do with this truck? Do you like the styling? Do you like the name Dakota being back on? Tell me what your thoughts are. Leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next video.